From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher, and their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicky Fisher, and our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. Their mission: to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Miss Vicky,
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
What is that?
Well, you know how we have the One Lap of America coming up?
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it'd be even more exciting if you get to go, but we'll get you there in a year or two. Tough to get away for a week, both of us.
Yes.
So I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of hooking up the Sentinel system in the car we take,
Really?
because then you could watch us. You could see Tim drive well and me drive poorly.
I think that's kind of a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. So, I mean, how would I do that?
Well, I mean, with the Sentinel, you throw it up on the tube of views on our channel, and you could watch remotely. And if we wanted to, we could do it as we're driving between the tracks. But we'll definitely do it on the tracks. You think that would be fun?
I think that would be a really cool idea.
The only thing that worries me is if we do it with the telemetry.
Uh-huh.
You might call us up and tell us that we need to go faster than 55 when we're on the track. So,
Well, how does it work?
well, we have the little aim telemetry in the car, and then the Sentinel system has either 2 or 3 cameras, and then it puts the two together, so you get all the telemetry and all the car data, and makes that part of the video, and then it puts it into our YouTube channel, and then you could watch it, or anybody could watch it. I don't know why they would watch us, but they could.
That sounds like a really cool idea.
Yeah, it might be fun.
Might be fun.
You think you want to see some of the debacle? I mean, some of the devastating driving that we do.
I think I'd like to see you on one of the tracks at Road Atlanta,
Well,
or at One Lap America, for sure.
well, so we could do that for each of the tracks, and if we want to, we could do even a remote video while we're sitting in the car driving between tracks, eating fried chicken, making fun of each other, whatever.
Okay.
I have a feeling our food is going to be let's go with not 5-star, shall we say, for this entire week. So, but you think that would be fun? You'd want to watch that a little bit?
I think I would. Really
Okay.
would.
All right. I guess I have a new project. We're putting it in the new One Lap car
I like that idea.
and streaming.
All right.
Right. You know what I think? I think our listeners could get some value out of this too, because what they do is they go to our YouTube channel, they watch these videos that we put up, and like around sleep time when they're trying to go to bed, and they'll definitely fall asleep. It won't be any problem. It'd be like a lullaby.
They can also write in suggestions in the comment section. Yeah. Please comment.
Yes. Excuse me, Bill, the track went to the left, yet you turned the wheel to the right. Could you please explain? And I will come back with a reply saying, it's a very advanced concept. I'm not sure you're up to it. Otherwise known as, we haven't finished putting our sim together and I didn't know which way the track went. But anyway, I think that's going to be a plan, my dear.
I think it's good.
All right, very well. One Lap of America, Sentinel, made for each other. Ben Dawson. I need me some Ben Dawson.
Ben Dawson is not here.
What?
I know.
Who could
I know.
we talk to if Ben's not
is
here?
Busy with doing kid things.
Then we can't have a Dominating with Dawson because we got nobody else to talk to.
We are going to have a version with Jeremy Hall.
Mr. Jeremy? Judge Jeremy?
Yes.
I'm going to give it a shot.
All right, very well.
I am no Ben Dawson, but I'm going to give it a shot, see what happens.
No. If you were Ben Dawson, your beard would be on top of your head.
This is true. This is very true.
Anyway, I thought that we could talk about something that I and beginning to see the advantages and disadvantages of each. And I thought we could discuss it a little bit. There are certain racing classes which are commonly referred to as builders classes. And then there's other racing classes which are kind of, let's just call them spec classes, just to make it simple. Or driver's classes, I guess, might be another way to open it up a little bit. Let's talk about the differences between a builder's class type of racing and a driver's class type of racing, and when you would choose one over the other, depending on what you're into.
So choosing, that's the tough part of that, because you have to drive and figure out what you want to do. So that's going to be a choice that could take you years. It could take you 10 minutes. So it's really tough to say, whenever anybody asks me what they should do for racing, it's, well, what do you like to do? What do you enjoy doing? What have you done so far? What haven't you done? What have you tried? What haven't you tried? So the choosing of it.
A lot of times what you think you like turns out to not be it.
Correct. And that's true. And that's why I try a lot of different things. But I enjoy endurance racing. I enjoy the hours of seat time. Some people don't. I have a lot of friends that do not enjoy endurance racing, and they want to go out and they want to do a 40-minute sprint race.
So fast.
Yes. Yep. They want to go super fast, and they want to do a 40-minute sprint race and then be done for the day.
So Miss Vicky,
Yeah.
are you familiar with builders classes versus driver classes?
No.
Okay. Well, that was a great episode. Thanks, guys. No,
Vicky,
I'm just kidding.
What you do is you are part of builders classes.
I am.
You are. So you build your own race car the way you want to build it.
However
you go to a race, however you want to build it. You go to a race and they put you in a class that they believe your car should be in. So they take all kinds of different factors into the equation. Horsepower, lightness of the car, suspension, all kinds of different variables go into that. And then they class you in a class that they believe that you will be competitive in with other competitors in that class.
I did not know there was a name for it.
Bill just made it up tonight.
Okay.
Jargon's not your strong point.
Yes. So you are in a for lack of a better term, builder's class. That's what you do. You build the cars that you want to build the way you want to build them. And then you go and you race and you have fun.
But Mr. Jeremy, what about when we do Sunday Cup?
When you do Sunday Cup, that.
Well, is that is considered a spec?
Correct.
That is nothing special, as in everything has to be the same amongst everybody else's car.
That is correct. That is most spec series. You are absolutely right, Vicky. So spec series, basically the series gives you a list of what needs to be done to your car, the optional items that you can do, mostly maintenance items are in that optional list. And those things that they give you a list of that need to be placed in that car are the only things you can do to that car in terms of power adders, brake upgrades, suspension upgrades. So they give you a full list and you build the car exactly the way the list says. A lot of them have a specific weight that you have to meet. Like I know, for example, the E46 that I'm building, I looked into building it as a spec car, and I believe that was 2,850 pounds, I believe, was that's about right. The minimum weight for that car. Obviously, if you're a little above it, you're going to be a little slower than the rest of the cars. But the idea behind a spec series is that it is all about the driver, because in theory, every car should be the same. But there are some little tricks that you can do. Everybody sets their suspension up a little bit differently for the way that they like to drive. So it really is about the driver. And most spec races are a much shorter race. So I'm going to actually give a shout out to a friend of mine, a mentor of mine, Bill Griffin. Bill Griffin races Spec E46. So that's a sprint race, and it becomes about the talent of the driver and how you set up your car to be a little bit better than the driver that's that you're battling against.
Hmm.
So I guess what are the advantages and disadvantages of each, and how would they appeal to someone?
Well, I mean, that's all relative to the individual that is deciding to race in either series. Like I said before, I enjoy a lot of seat time. So for me, the advantages of a builder's class is that I can build a car the way I want to build it, and I can go out and I can drive for hours and hours and hours, however much I want to drive. The disadvantages of that are that when you are building a car with no specific rules, you tend to go overboard, or you yes, you either go overboard or you try something that becomes unreliable, that's not tested and true. So that's kind of the disadvantage of that for me. Now it's
also
idea of
tough to compare driver versus driver.
Correct.
That
That is very tough.
Different weapons.
The only way you can compare driver to driver is if you have a multi-person team and you're all driving the same car. But again, you don't, you just, as a team, you want to help each other. You all want to work together. And now in terms of a spec series, the benefits are that whatever the rules are, whatever the guidelines are to build that car, they are tried and true. So that car, when you build that spec car, it's going to be a good, reliable car. The disadvantage for me is that seat time it's not a lot of seat time. But again, every single person is different.
I know some spec series that are starting endurance series.
Yes, I have heard this.
And we have a reservation, my friend.
I'm game.
I know. So Miss Vicky.
Yes.
The obvious question that comes to my mind is, how do you choose? And what if you're like us in the beginning when we didn't know anything about a car, or how to make a car, or how to dial in a car, or how to even, lefty loosey, rightsy tightsy was a challenge for us. Sometimes
it still is.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't want to talk about that. But so what do you think? What's your thoughts? I don't think you've ever thought about it in the manner of a driver's class versus a builder's class, but
no, I really never really thought about it. I don't really have thoughts on that.
Okay.
If you really think,
episode.
I mean, I really don't. I really don't. I mean, I know what I know at the moment.
Okay,
kind of going into a spec race class. What kind of class did you call that?
Driver's class.
A driver's class.
We're going to do that this summer.
Yeah, it sounds.
Vicky,
I don't know. It just seems like for builder's class, you could just be a whole lot more inventive.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And
but what if you don't know what you're doing?
What if you don't know what you're doing? Oh,
like
you just figure it out.
I know, but what should we have done when we started? We
probably should have just bought a freaking car and probably done the one class, which is the driver's class, but it would not have been as fun.
Well, can I add to that?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Can I add to that?
Let's do both.
So my suggestion, okay, you're new to racing. You're new to building a car. You have picked out, let's go, for example, a Miata, right?
Yes.
Because let's face it,
awesome.
Everybody wants to drive Miatas, right?
They're so easy.
So you have picked out a Miata and you have decided that, okay, I want to race this. I don't know where to start. I know I want to, my buddies are racing in this series. It's an endurance series, whatever it is, right? How do I build the car for that series? Well, my suggestion is whatever car you have picked up to start building, go and see if there is a spec series for that car.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on what that spec series requires, you may or may not build it to that series, but it's a great place to start, right? So they're going to give you great performance upgrades. They're going to give you, a great reliability list of upgrades. And now you can take that car,
even spares sometimes.
Even spares, yes. And now you can take that car that you've just built as a spec series. Now you have a good baseline. So go race it anywhere you want to race it. And then you can make improvements from there if you decide you need to improve that vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So to beat this subject up just a little further, because it's somewhat tender, but I think if we hit it a couple more times, like Rocky, we can get this thing soft. So let's go with Jeremy's car, which Jeremy has a car and I have a car. Both of them are built to spec E46, but they're not. You can take your spec E46, even if you build it exactly to spec, right? And you can go race it in NASA class ST something or SCCA class 64975 Delta Bravo Tango. .3.4 subsection A. It's very simple. Or you can go race it in AER, or you can go race it in Champ Car, or you can race it in a whole bunch of different places. Just because it's a spec car doesn't mean it cannot be driven in an HPDE.
Correct.
Or another racing series.
Correct.
And like I said, the benefit of that is that you now have built a car that is proven to be good and reliable.
And usually the spec cars are, I'm not going to say cheap, but cheaper.
And they're much simpler as well.
Because it's proven.
Correct.
Okay. So if you don't know what you're doing, a spec class may be the way to go, because if it's B spec or Sunday Cup, you're only allowed 3 or 4 changes and you're done. That's it. It's not like you have choices. You're done. All done. Sometimes you'll have trouble getting a car registered and not be able to compete in a race that you've been planning on for more than a year, but that's a different story.
Yep.
On a future Dominated with Dawson.
Now, remember, when you're building that car and you're starting out, horsepower is not everything.
No, it's
the only thing, Jeremy. It's the only thing.
Also completely destroys reliability.
No, Jeremy.
And yes, horsepower is fun, but if you have a car that you can only turn 2 laps at a time with, that is no fun.
No, especially for an entire weekend.
And thoughts when building a car, turbo for endurance. I hear it's a nightmare.
No.
If you enter in with a turbo, your turbo is, I think it's going to have a problem.
I know firsthand. No.
But
I have yet to come across somebody at this point who's had a successful turbo on the track.
There is one car in Lemons that we race with that is a successful turbo car.
Okay.
But that car,
turbo added car.
No, it was turbo from the factory.
Okay, because I was going to say turbo added is different than turbo.
Correct.
OEM.
But this car is also a $90,000 race car.
Yeah.
It's the Scooby Doobies. Remember the Audi?
Oh,
Audi.
yeah.
That is a very successful car, but that is also a $90,000 race car.
Even our sister team, who can do magical things in cars, both driving and building, they had difficulty making a turbo Civic last more than 2.5 races.
This is correct. And they've since gone back to normally aspirated.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're endurance racing, unless you have a massively huge, deep pocket, stay away from turbo.
And time. So there was, you guys weren't able to do this, so we'll entertain this subject just a little bit more. Somebody said, hey, my friend's got I'm going to not say the card yet, but he's got a car that he wants to sell me really cheap. What do you guys think? And the car was Subaru Impreza.
No.
You know how many no's they got?
No. The motor goes the wrong way. There's only one manufacturer that can make a motor go the wrong way, and that's Porsche.
Porsche?
What do you mean go the wrong way?
It's a boxer engine.
The pistons go sideways.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Porsche's the only one that can do that successfully.
So here's the situation. We had a bunch of people who don't endurance race chiming in saying how they've gotten a car to go 200,000 miles and never had a problem with a Subaru on the street. And I'm sitting there going, it's a totally different use case. So speaking as both a person who races cars and a person who has had Subarus on the street, I have gone personally, Vicky and I have had a car from Subaru 280,000 miles, original engine, original clutch, no issues, no problems, just liquids. It was fine. That is not the case when you do it on the endurance racing, sir. It does not work.
And because we do endurance racing, we can promise you that it will not work. It will not stay together. Endurance racing finds all of the weak links of every single car. And I promise you, every car has a weak link or multiple weak links.
Look up Open Deck on Google.
Even Hondas that are supposedly the most reliable car ever, they have weak links on a racetrack in endurance racing. That's always
just not
finds,
cool. I'm right here, Jeremy. I am right here. What the hell? That is not cool, man.
Even BMWs. Endurance racing finds the weak link, and Subarus are the weak link.
They have multiple choice. I'm sorry.
I don't mean to hurt your feelings if you're a Subaru lover.
That's right. So if you want to write in,
they are the weak link.
If you want to write into Jeremy and complain about how we're wrong about your Subaru, garageheroesandtraining@gmail.com. Just remember, don't mess up your keyboard. Put your vape down before you start typing. It'll be fine. You'll make it okay.
There are 2 E's in heroes.
That's right. 2 E's.
And I love having Subaru discussions. So please write in.
That's right. And Jeremy, speaking of a position of authority in terms of reliability, coming from the Volkswagen Golf GTI world, knows reliability.
It took us quite a few tries, but we figured out how to make a Volkswagen reliable.
It did. It was awesome.
And we tried to help other teams, but they didn't want to listen to what we did. So it didn't work out for them either.
That's right. I think a turbo would have solved it, though.
I love you, Tom Lamino.
Wow. Future podcast guest, Tom Lamino. Very well. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.